gonna give you a complete, honest and open perspective of how my post-show has been, because I want to be honest. It has been a hot minute since I've actually sat you down and just kind of, you know, spoken about everything, because I've been literally so busy post-show. Like, loads of obviously business things and loads of things in general have just been here, there and everywhere. So thank you for being so patient. I really do want to make sure that I keep you guys up to date with my reverse, how everything's going post-show, and kind of give you guys the content that you want in terms of post-show and stuff like that as well. So me post-show, obviously right now I'm around like 16 days post-show right now, and I'm feeling really good, if I'm honest. I'm gonna give you a complete, honest and open perspective of how my post-show has been, because I want to be honest, and I want to show you guys that we all do go through struggles and stuff like that as well, especially being post-show. It is a difficult phase, and especially with where the UK is at the moment and stuff like that. We're still in lockdown. I don't know who's watching this in terms of where you're at the moment. I know America's obviously not on lockdown, and like some places in Canada are on lockdown. It's all over the place, but over here in the UK we are currently on lockdown. So for me it has been slightly more difficult than I anticipated. I definitely thought it would be easier, and it's not been. It's, for me, it really hasn't been, and there has been a lot of mental struggles that I've gone through each day, and that's kind of what I wanted to go through as well, so you can kind of feel like you're not alone, if that makes sense. Obviously, post-show phase. What is post-show phase? So obviously post-show is you post-competition, post-competing and prepping, all that type of thing. And the reason I wanted to do videos on this is because a lot of people do find this phase so much harder than just prep in general, because your goal, your individual goal and the date that you are working towards has been taken away. You then have to reverse and do everything without having that intentional goal or set date in mind, which is difficult to do, don't get me wrong. But today was my 2 weeks post-show check-in with Adam, and I'm actually really happy with where we're at. I am slightly heavier than what I would like to be, but my body does inflame post-show for sure. I know that for a fact because I've been eating things that my body isn't used to. I've been eating gluten, I've been eating dairy. Those are the things that I don't have on prep, so my body isn't used to that, so it's slightly inflamed. My digestion's not like 100%, but that's okay, because once my body starts to normalize and get like used to the foods that I'm having, then it will start to kind of like calm down. And that's what you kind of just got to make sure that you realize, that your body is sensitive to the things it hasn't had for however long on prep and stuff like that. So you've got to make sure that you remember that and try and not be too harsh on yourself when you do get a little bit bloated, you do get a little bit inflamed, because that is part of the process, because you have put your body through a lot. So you've got to make sure that your body now does recover at its best. So little things that have helped me throughout this time is making sure that I recognize when I want food and when I don't want food. So the hardest thing for people obviously post-show is knowing when you actually want your food and when you don't want it. So example, like you may have bought loads of cookies and treats and all those types of things post-show. Obviously those are the things that you craved at the time and you want to have those things post-show because you haven't had them for a while. But when it comes to the time, do you actually want those foods, or are you eating them just for the sake of it? So are you just eating it because you can have it now, or are you eating it because you actually physically want it? So for me, that's the main thing that I try and identify post-show. Like, okay, when I'm hungry, do I want these post-show treats that I have in my cupboard that I haven't eaten yet, or do I want one of my normal meals? Do you know what I mean? So that's what you want to try and identify first, and try and make sure that you're still sticking to a good structure and having your protein, having your veggies, all that type of thing, having your meals throughout the day, and then ask yourself, okay, do I want those post-show treats as well? Because once you have one, you then sometimes can't stop, and that's when sometimes people go through kind of like a binging phase and having more and more and more foods when they actually don't want them. It's just the body actually craving that kind of sugar. So that's the first thing. Second thing is making sure that you stick to a good structure throughout your off season and throughout your improvement reverse phase. So trying to make sure that the structure you had through prep seeps into your reverse, your off season, and all that type of thing. So the main thing that I've always made sure of is making my meals each day. So make sure that I've either made them the night before, or I have them in the fridge ready for me to eat when I'm hungry, because that's one of the main things. And a few days, don't get me wrong, I've fallen to victim of, I haven't made my meals the night before or in the morning, and I'm hungry, but I can't be bothered to make my food. So I'll go to the cupboard and eat what's there. It happens. So the easiest thing to do to try and avoid that is make sure that you have food available when you are hungry. So making sure that you're making your meals, also making sure that you are hydrated, because one main thing is sometimes people mistake hunger for just being hydrated. Sometimes when you're not hydrated and you haven't drunk enough water, you will then start to be like, oh, I'm hungry, and then start to dive into the cupboard that you don't want to go into, and all that type of thing. Those things have definitely helped me throughout my reverse phase. And don't get me wrong, my reverse hasn't been perfect. Like, I have had days, like I said earlier, that I have just eaten what I wanted intuitively. It may have not hit, may have not hit my protein count, I may have not hit my carb intake. Little things like that. It is normal to sometimes just have what you want and intuitive eat, but what you don't want to do is get into the habit of doing that every day, because then you will start to make yourself feel down and down each day, and then it just becomes a habit and it just goes in a circle. So you want to try and make sure that you have that overall structure and stuff. For me, what I found difficult is being post-show in lockdown. So for me, I have struggled mentally a lot with just not seeing anyone, not being able to have the gym as just my relief and just my stress reliever, because obviously right now, I'm very busy with like work and business and all that type of thing. And for me, the gym is my time, the gym is me time, and for me, that being taken away has been really difficult for me to kind of like get over. And I've explained this in one of my Instagram posts the other day, and a lot of people resonated with it and said the exact same, that they feel like they're almost like trapped and they can't do anything else, which again, I know a lot of people are in the same position, so I can't say like, oh, I feel like I'm the only one in this position, because a lot of people are, well, everyone in the UK is in the exact same position. So just know that you're not alone in this situation, and the only way that it will become better is that if you stick to a structure, make sure that you're still sticking to your everyday routine, and making sure that you still regularly talk to people and stuff as well, for sure, because that will help you get over this lockdown phase, which is going to be ending soon, thank God. So that's kind of an update on how I'm doing. I'm currently like I'm ranging around 4 to 5 kilos above stage weight right now, and I'm 16 days post show, which for me again is slightly higher than what I did want, because I did want to try and like increase like a little bit less, but I know my body is still slightly inflamed from obviously foods that I'm not used to eating. Also, one other thing is training. You want to try and make sure that what I like to do is back off of training just a little bit, so try and make sure that you're not lifting as heavy and as pushing as hard this post show phase. This has worked for me because I find my recovery is so much better when I ease myself back into training versus going balls to the wall head first, like diving straight into heavy training and really like putting your all into training straight after a competition phase. I like to ease myself into training and trying to only train when I feel like my body is ready to train, if that makes sense. So that's what I find helps me, and that's the method that I use. And obviously everyone is so different. The main thing you want to try and make sure of that you remember is everybody is different, and everyone, the way they reverse is so individual and different. So say example, one person will be 3 kilos above stage weight 5 weeks post show, and you might be 4 kilos above stage weight maybe a week post show. It doesn't matter, but what is the most important thing is to remember is that your process and the way you do things is different to everyone else. So you just want to make sure that you're not comparing your phase, your post-show phase and your reverse to anyone else's, and making sure that you are doing it obviously for you. And remembering that, like I said, everyone is different. So everything recently has been absolutely crazy, I won't lie, because business has been booming, which is great. Things have been crazy obviously here over in the UK with the lockdown happening and stuff like that, but I am slowly getting better at it. I won't lie, I have had a lot of days where I have just been really down and I've not wanted to train, and I haven't trained and eaten things that I hadn't wanted to eat just because I feel like not in a good place. I don't feel myself right now because of being post-show and being locked down. I think it was a lot harder than I anticipated, like I said. So for me, I am struggling, but I am getting better at it each day. And I just think it's a case of taking each day as it comes and making sure that you're sticking throughout that structure and making sure that you can do what you can each day. So that's what I'm kind of doing, and that's the message I kind of want to give to you guys. Post-show is difficult, but take each day by day and it will become a lot easier and it will become part of your routine. So I'm excited to kind of show you guys this post-show phase. I am going to go make my first meal of the day, which I will show you guys pretty much today what I've been having and what I'll be eating. So yeah, that's pretty much what we'll be doing today. So this is meal one. Obviously, you can see I took a little sneaky little bite out of it because I was hungry whilst I was waiting for the eggs to cook. This is what I have. I really like having, like, I used to have bacon and eggs quite a large amount, and I really like the whole like taste of having like pork and egg. So, but I don't really like sometimes the fattiness of like the bacon. So especially having like 2 whole yolks and stuff like that and stuff as well. It's just a lot of fat. So what I've started to do is have shredded up ham, which is actually quite a low percentage of fat and quite a good amount of protein. So I'm happy with that. So I'll have 2 full yolks because I really like yolks, and then some ham, and then on top of a bagel because your girl loves a bagel. If you watched all my lead up to the preps when I had refeeds, your girl was having bagels because I love a bagel. This is meal one, and then I'll show you what I will have for the rest of my meals today. With meal one, I always like to take my supplements in the morning. So I actually haven't changed my supplements much. So I'll take my everyday vitamins, which are from Vita HD from HD. So these are honestly the best vitamins I think I've ever tried. I can tell, okay, I can really tell when I don't take my vitamins. So I make sure I take them every day. And then one thing I have started inputting in my routine for my overall gut health and immune system is Aura from Cured Nutrition, which is a supplement company I am sponsored by. So this is obviously to help with your overall immune system and gut health. I honestly have noticed a massive difference within my digestion after taking these. So I've only started taking these for the last like week or so, but I've really noticed a massive difference. So I have found that's helped my post-show phase, because that's one thing that I always do struggle with, is like my digestion and all that type of thing staying regular after having foods that I'm not used to 100%, if that makes sense. So I have really noticed a massive difference after using Aura. So definitely give these a try if you're post-show and you're finding your digestion and gut health and just in general immune system, it doesn't feel 100%. I've generally noticed a humongous difference with that. So I take those, and then I also take obviously Cured Nutrition Rise, which I talk about on the daily. This is literally my favorite supplement because it just helps me focus just overall so much more. And then I've also started taking Glutamine in the morning, which I'm about to make up now. So obviously I have my Glutamine with HD's Intra workout because I really like the taste of it, and the Glutamine isn't actually flavoured, so it doesn't taste the best by itself, but Glutamine is obviously to help with, again, digestion and overall recovery throughout obviously this phase and stuff. So that's what I started taking in the mornings and stuff with meal one. So I'll take that now. I'll take that with the Intra HD watermelon flavour because that is honestly the best flavour. So taking that in the morning is literally like really nice, and again it just keeps my digestion like regular throughout the day. Doesn't make me feel bloated or anything like that. Makes me just feel quite good after I've taken it. Again, I can notice a massive difference when I don't take it in the morning, because then throughout the day I start to feel a little bit more bloated and a little bit more like heavy stomached, if that makes sense. So those are my supplements that I take every day. And then I also take like the normal omega-3s, magnesium in the morning, vitamin C, psyllium husk, CLAs in the morning. Those are all the types of like normal supplements that I take in the morning, and I've taken them all throughout prep, and I've made sure that throughout this phase and stuff like that, they're staying 100% regular. Something that I actually forgot to show you that I've actually had to build in my house, or my flat should I say, because I've had so many requests obviously for waist trainers, and then I have my own merch, which is obviously my Know Your Own Ability merch. But because I don't have a massive flat, and like I was getting boxes to the point where it was just becoming so messy, that I had to actually build this in my flat, and it's like a bloody storage unit now. So like, as you can see on here, so I've got my Know Your Own Ability jumpers, which I do have obviously loads of, and then we have the waist trainers, which I've only just got a restock the other day. So if you're wanting to get some waist trainers, they only just been restocked the other day. But yeah, they're still available. They're on the website. So if you want to have a look at the waist trainers and stuff like that and still see if your size is in stock, then go to the link in the description box below. And then I also have obviously more Know Your Ability. And then I also have some sweat belts, which I have discussed in a video beforehand. I will show you in this video, actually, to be fair, to show you what they look like again. But these are probably one of the best sweat belts that I have worn and used, because they zip up at the front. You zip yourself in first, and then you also wrap yourself in. So I've really loved using them because it really helps me get a good sweat on. I will put a disclaimer here now and say that sweat belts, what they do is in the name, it helps you sweat. It doesn't help prevent any form of fat loss or anything like that. So if you think that sweat belts are obviously going to help you lose fat, that's not the case. These are literally just to help you sweat and keep you warm throughout your workouts and stuff like that, so you can push it a little bit harder. Because what I find is when I'm cold, I can't push my 100% fullest in cardio, versus when I'm a bit warmer, I find it so much easier. So when I'm warm and I wear my sweat belt and stuff like that, it helps me to push a little bit harder during cardio. So anyway, this is what I've had to get built or put up in my flat. I literally only just put it up yesterday. But yeah, how funny is that? I've had to literally build something like this because, you know, it's quite cool though, like having this in the house, because it's like, this is my business. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is what I sell on a daily basis, and it's just like, it's just cool to look at, you know? Is meal number 2 of the day. So we've literally just got turkey, veg, 50% less fat cheese, ketchup and salt. So that is going to be meal number 2, and then I'm literally going to have the exact same meal in like when I'm hungry. So I always just make sure that I'm always listening to my body and just eating when I'm hungry. So I won't say, yeah, I'm going to eat that in 2 hours. It could be 1 hour, it could be 3 hours, who knows? But I'm gonna just listen to my body and wait until I'm hungry to eat this next part.
Give me an email tomorrow. I'm not going to be working on this for you until Wednesday, well, until the end of the week anyway, Wednesday onwards.
Yeah.
So if you could send me something tomorrow evening even, just literally, this is what we talked about, we've nailed it down and locked it in now, and these are the tiers.
Yeah.
And then I'll just work with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think that would be easier, and I'll email you over across what I want, like the people to have on the different levels and stuff like that. Yeah, that makes more sense.
Exactly. Everything else, you know, everything about you and what it is and the benefits and why they should sign up, that's not going to change. But, you know, the bit where it's like, okay, I'm in, but what do I get?
Yeah.
Yeah, those bits I need to know. So, no, that's all cool, I think.
Okay, cool. Perfect. Okay, things are getting serious now. Like, it's so... like it's crazy to like look at, and it's amazing that it's happening, but like this project that I'm working on, it's coming like closer and closer to the time that I'm releasing, and like it's just so cool. Like, it's honestly so cool. I don't know, I'm still not going to tell you guys yet. I know I'm annoying you by saying, yeah, I've got this magic project, amazing project, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. You will find out probably in the next, like, I want to say 3 weeks time, like probably know in the next 3 weeks time what the project is. So, but be patient. But I just got off the phone to one of the developers that is helping build the project that I'm working on. She's obviously writing up pretty much what it's all going to be about and all that type of thing. So with creating a massive business like this, obviously you need people behind the scenes to also help you get to where you want to be. It would literally be impossible for me to do this all by myself. So I'm really grateful to have these people in my corner, and like it takes a lot of time and effort, and like that's why post-show I've been a lot more stressed, is because I have this big project that I want to release in the new year, all that type of thing. But obviously doing that, it's nice to have a focus and stuff as well. So that's what I'm working on, and that's what I've just had a phone call with. It is now the next day, so you saw me cooking up my meals for yesterday and stuff. I'm actually going to do something slightly different today. Instead of having my turkey for my second meal, I'm actually going to be having steak, because I've always enjoyed beef. I enjoy changing up my proteins quite a large amount. Like you'll see what I had in the morning was obviously like my pork, bacon, eggs, that type of thing, and then turkey yesterday, and then today I kind of want to have beef. So that's kind of what I fancy, and that's what I enjoy post-show. I enjoy being a bit more intuitive and being a bit more adventurous with foods and stuff like that. And don't be afraid to do that, because you are allowed to do that, and you should do that, because you have to kind of almost like normalize having other foods. Try not always stick to the same foods every day. Don't get me wrong, you can stick to the same foods every day if you wanted to, but don't also feel guilty for having different foods and having variety, because that's normal to do. So you know what I mean? So that's what I'm gonna make now. I'm gonna go make a steak and some veggies, just some grilled veggies, keeping it simple, because that's what I kind of fancy right now. So I'm just gonna go make that now. And here is today's beautiful meal. I literally am so excited to eat this. I'm starving right now. When I'm hungry, you can see I get a massive plate of veggies on the side, just because I'd rather not pick later on in the day. And I'll be having this with loads of ketchup. So smother that all over there. But yeah, this is what I'm gonna have. I've really been enjoying having like different variety of like just veg and stuff, because I can actually just be overall bothered to have different veg, because sometimes they get so in routine in prep. I'm just like, yep, I'll have my normal mixed veggies, green beans, carrots, and that's it. And then I'm just like, I can't be bothered to have peppers and like mushrooms and different veg and like onions and stuff, and be bothered to like cut up onions and all that type of thing. So I'll just have like frozen veg. But now I'm a bit more adventurous, which I actually am enjoying so much more. So veggies, steak, none of those. These are the gingerbread donuts, and I am actually going to be giving these to my dad, because they do not taste like gingerbread. Like, I'm so disappointed in Morrison's for like saying they taste like gingerbread, because they don't. They taste more like a custard donut. I bought them because I was like, hold up, gingerbread donuts, I need me some of those. I tried one yesterday for my pre-workout meal, and I was sadly disappointed, because tiniest bit of gingerbread, like a very, very small hint, but it mostly tastes like custard. So if you're in the UK and you find these and you're like, oh my God, gingerbread, amazing. No, they're not that good. Donut is so nice. The filling amount, perfect. It just tastes like a custard donut, which is so saddening. So I'm going to give these to my dad, because Max also said the same, that he didn't like them. So we both had one yesterday. We're going to give these to my dad, because we don't want to eat them just because they're there. And that's the end of the story pretty much. So onto this meal. So I think I'm going to leave the video here, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe to my channel. Literally just in like the last few days, I have honestly had so many plans change within my December, within the last like ending of this year, and it's pretty exciting, pretty like random. So I'm gonna give you guys an update in the next video of what I'm doing, but I may not be in the UK for much longer. So I'm gonna leave that with you there. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe to my channel, because it really helps support my channel. And I love you guys so much, and I will see you soon.